The New York Giants will win the Super Bowl this year.
All right, on our first football podcast, we're heading into week 5. The first quarter of the season is over. The Jets and the Giants both stand at 1 and 3, so what else is new? All right, so let's start off with the best teams. I think we all know that the best team in the NFL right now is the St. Louis Rams. And before last week's game, they were the 7-1 odds to win the Super Bowl. I would have taken that bet. Now, all right, so I mean, the Rams, Jared Goff is coming off a career best performance with 5 touchdowns. I don't think anyone is really going to beat them unless they beat themselves. What do you think, Phil?
I think as long as Gurley gets enough carries, keep giving the ball to Brandon Cooks, use that trio as well, I should say, with Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. Like some people are saying, this could be the best trio maybe ever. I think that's still a long shot, but I think those are very 3 talented wide receivers. They keep doing the same thing, but that Rams defense needs to step it up. I know they played against a good Kirk Cousins, but we all expect that Rams defense is better than what we saw last week. So if they play to their identity, then yes, they can go very far and maybe not even lose a game till later in the season.
Yeah, especially if they're playing teams like the Jets and Giants. What do you have to say about the Giants player right now?
I think the Giants could be great to the potential we expected in the beginning of the year, but with all that hype with their head coach and his great play calling from the Minnesota last year, they're not using those play calls like they should. Their offense is very flat. It seems like almost every other play, it's a 3 to 5 yard pass, slant routes, or a dump off to Barkley, or like I said, a slant route to Beckham. They're not going down the field.
So you think they got to take longer shots down the field? I've heard that consensus from a lot of fans, but a lot of people think Eli doesn't have the arm strength to get the ball downfield, and he has to take all. He's got to put everything into it. He can't throw off the back foot like he used to.
That I agree with. That's all definitely coming with age with him. But I think sometimes you don't know until you know. Now, there's no way the New York Giants are going to have a winning season with the type of play calling they've been doing through 4 weeks. I really feel like they kept themselves in all 4 of those games. And like we've seen before, the Giants beat themselves more than these teams beat them. When they played against Jacksonville, they stayed with them. They held them to only 20 points. And the last play of the game was a punt return to the Giants. Eli just needed a great drive to get down to the field, red zone, touchdown. They win by 1 point. But they muffed that punt, and you put a nobody in for your punt returner. I guarantee nobody could say that guy's name that muffed that punt. They lost the ball with 40 seconds left. That's enough time to get down the field and try and score. But now they want to use Odell Beckham at the punt return in certain situations that can benefit them depending on the situations of the game. Why didn't they use Odell Beckham at the punt return then? That could have been the best time to use him, and they didn't. They shot themselves in the foot there. They lose the game. Then when they played Dallas, they just played flat. I think everybody knows Dallas did not look the same, and I think they overlooked them. They didn't come in ready. Then when they played Houston, that's when they woke up. And then we saw what they can be and how good they could be. And Eli and the rest of the offense, especially that offensive line, stepped up against a very good Houston defense. Nobody saw that coming. And I think that's the New York Giants that they really are. Then when they play the Saints, they start off very good looking like that same team. Then in the second half, I don't know what happened. But if you look throughout that game, the play calling was just not aggressive enough. And the Saints defense, just like Dallas defense, look way better than I think they are. They need to have more aggressive play calling, more bigger plays to get them down the field. Odell Beckham and Sterling Shepard are fast receivers that you get them down the field, they can break away, get open, and I see a lot more touchdowns for the Giants. Eli Manning only has 4 touchdowns in 4 games. That's not enough. They're using Saquon Barkley right, but it's like they're using him at receiver too many times. You have so many weapons, I know Evan Ingram's out, but I still think they have enough without him. They're just not executing. I want to see Pat Shermer get more aggressive with these play callings if the Giants want to start winning more. I think that's the key to it. I don't think it's the lack of talent. I think everyone stepped up. I just think the more aggressive play calling they have, the more touchdowns will come, and so will more victories.
That was a good breakdown on the Giants, I must say. Now for the Jets, we're coming off, a fantastic performance against the Lions, and then they just, I don't know what the deal is. It's like if it was just too good to be true, but they come the Browns game. Ugh, how disappointing was the Browns game? They played not to lose. They didn't take any risks. The stupid penalties, bad play calling. I love Sam Darnold. I think he's going to progress. He's very young. I think he's 21 right now. So we have plenty of time. But Todd Bowles does not have plenty of time. If he doesn't show something, like show us some emotion. Like I said before, I think he's still smelling the fart from the Mark Sanchez butt fumble. I know he wasn't the coach at the time, but the stench is like crawling up his face. Like he's got no emotions whatsoever. I don't know what's going on. We need to get a new coach in there going forward. Someone with a more offensive present mind. I don't know who that guy is. Unfortunately, that's the scary part. So, I mean, moving forward, I don't know what to expect from them. Can we get 7 wins? I mean, that would be good, I guess. Go 7-9, 8-8 if we're lucky on our best day, but I don't think that's going to happen. All right, so now moving around the league, we saw another great performance from Patrick Mahomes, the signature lefty play. We're going to have the video clip on the podcast. This was just like complete improvisation. He's rolling to the left. He knows he can't make the throw with his right hand, so he switches it to his left hand and makes a little folly floater for a first down, I believe. It was pretty impressive and kind of like a Steph Curry-esque move. I think we're going to see some comparisons to Steph Curry of the NFL now. And as far as like the way they market him is going to be impressive. I think for a while this guy could be maybe the the star of the league. What do you think, Phil? I mean, he's got what, 13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 14 touchdowns, 0 picks. It's pretty amazing. I think the Chiefs could really, I think they could be a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, definitely. I like that comparison. I do look at Mahomes as the Steph Curry of the NFL. Um, Once again, that's a great offense with great weapons. That defense is the only thing I worry about with that team. If they can just have Mahomes back, I think between them and like we talked about the Rams, it could be the two best teams in the league throughout the season. Um, Mahomes reminds me of so many different quarterbacks in one. Like I see a little bit of Drew Brees in him. I see a little bit of Aaron Rodgers. I see a little bit of Michael Vick, the way he can move in and out the pocket. This kid is the real deal, and I honestly don't think we've even seen something like him. If you want to compare him, to me, how everyone looks at Barkley, how he's a new breed of running back, I think we're seeing a new breed of quarterback with Patrick Mahomes. And I think this is a guy that's going to scare a lot of teams, and a lot of defenses need to do their homework before they play this man every Sunday.
All right, so a few things that I want to mention. Also, I know Phil wanted to highlight the bye weeks and how it's ridiculous how two teams, it was the Panthers and the Redskins, had a bye week in week 4. We're 3 games into the seasons and you need a bye week. It's tough to evaluate someone after 3 games and not a full quarter of the season. Penalties slow down the pace of play dramatically. Think about every time a flag is thrown, it's got to be at least 2 minutes minimum delay of the game. No pun intended. And then you have 15 penalties a game, so that's at least an extra 30 minutes of game time. We're talking. That's pretty ridiculous. So that about sums up the first quarter of the season. Last week we had about 10 300-yard passers. So lots of good quarterback play in the first quarter of the season, as we touched upon Patrick Mahomes in particular. We'll get back to you in a couple weeks with updates, possible playoff matchups. We'll see where the teams stand going forward. All right, talk to you next time, guys.